Okay, hello. Yeah, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are.
Hey,
So,
hello.
if you are interested in the video that was being played earlier on, you can go to my channel and then look out for that video. But today we're going to look at something very important, something crucial to many people who aspire to travel abroad. Many people who aspire to travel abroad, something that is very important, because if you have heard of, many people complain or say that, oh, I had a visa and then my visa was cancelled, and then most of this happen at the port of entry, that, oh, they did not let me in, they cancel my visa. Yes, you may think it doesn't happen, but the truth is it does happen every day. It does happen every day. So today's video is going to tell you some of the reasons why your visa could be cancelled and then how to avoid that. We all know the stress that we go through to acquire these visas. Coming to Canada, your visitor visa, it may take you about 6 months, 8 months, even a year, and some people 2 years to get that visitor visa. Not even thinking of the money involved, those who worked, who paid agencies, and then like the money, a whole lot of money is involved in acquiring that visa. So if that visa is cancelled after it has been put on your um, passport and then it get cancelled, it is something which we pray it doesn't happen to anybody. But since it does happen, then we need to know why. We need to learn about it so that we can avoid that mistakes. I'll call it mistakes. We can avoid it. So that is the purpose for today's video. So I'll give some reasons that your visa can be cancelled and then suggest some possible solutions to it. To it. So your visitor visa, which is already stamped on your passport, for one reason or another, that visa could just be cancelled. Just as it was stamping, it could just be cancelled. So a visitor visa is given to foreign national to visit family, friends, or come to Canada for business purposes, or even come and then have their own tour, like visit the country. Then you are given a visitor's visa. Usually it values for 10 years. Usually it varies for 10 years or expires on your passport expiration, until your passport expiration. So most people will get 10 years. If you That is the maximum they give, usually 10 years. So if you have 10 years on your passport, you get the 10 years. But if you have 5 years, you get the 5 years. So yeah. So at the time a visitor is allowed to stay for 6 months. So every time you enter the country, you're allowed to stay for 6 months with the option for you to extend it. You can extend, you can apply for an extension. If you give a valid reason why you want to extend it, it will be allowed, they extend it. So that is what you need to know. So we have Canada has been a sought after destination for travelers worldwide, but recently reports are surfacing that IRCC is canceling the existing valid visitor visa for many foreign nationals. Yes, people come to Canada to visit a lot because there are so many places that you can visit, you can tour in Canada. Many people come to Canada to visit. Many use the visited visa to come to Canada for many reasons. But recently, just as I said earlier on, report, if you watch videos and then other readings, like IRCC has been canceling existing valid visitors visa. Yes, they've been canceling them for many reasons and then for many countries, some of the foreign countries. So we are going to look at some of the reasons why IRCC can cancel it. So there will be many circumstances that can lead to the cancellation of an existing visitor's visa. Visitor's visa. So it could be cancelled, or you could be denied entry by the CBSA officer. If they find any of these reasons that I'm coming to give, they can deny you entry and then cancel it, or even it could be cancelled before you even board your flight to come. So understanding some of these things and then taking precaution is very important. That's why we have today's video. So we're going to go through them. So the first one is misrepresentation and fraud. That is the first one, misrepresentation and fraud. So misrepresentation includes providing false information or concealing relevant fact during the visa application process that resulted in the visa approval. That resulted in the visa approval. So if you concealed some relevant information or you gave false information and then IRCC find out later on, they will cancel your visa. They will cancel your visa. And then immediately they will give you a ban for 5 years. So in your application, whatever you put in your application, if they find out that it is misrepresenting or some of the facts are not true, or you concealed some relevant information, they found out, they'll cancel your visa and give you 5 years ban. So what can we do to avoid this? So during your application, be honest and accurate. Be very honest and accurate. If even you are lying, make sure you are lying truthfully. Be honest and accurate. So always avoid anything that will contradict you in your application. Avoid anything that will contradict you. So always provide truthful and accurate information in your visa application. Double check them. Double check that all the documents that you've sent are error free. I have a friend who was denied a visa, and then the reason was his statement. There were errors in his statement. There were errors in the bank statement. That was the reason that the visa was denied. So make sure you double check it. If you are doing it yourself, double check, triple check. Let another person even check that you have everything right, accurate. If an agent is doing it for you, make sure you know what the agent is putting there, that it is the right thing that the agent is putting there. Like I said, if you are lying, lie truthfully. And then submit genuine document. Ensure all documents you submitted are genuine and authentic and could be verified. Avoid using fraudulent document under any circumstances. Yes, avoid using fraudulent document under any circumstances. So a document will be termed fraudulent if it is not verifiable or it contains a whole lot of error. Then it becomes suspicious that, oh, this document is fraudulent. Or so be vigilant. Whatever you are doing with your documentation, be vigilant. In most cases, IRCC will not call your bank. I'm saying in most cases, not in all cases. In most cases, they are not going to call your bank and then ask them so so and so have applied. So the statement and they will not call. But if they look at the statement, they are able to know this is a fraudulent one and this is a genuine one. So looking at the statement and or looking at the your application, what you've put. So be very cautious about that. And then to avoid this, consult a professional. So for unsure about any aspect of the application, seek advice from a regulated immigration consultant or lawyer. Yes, if you are not unsure of what you are putting or the question they've asked in the application, you are not sure of what you have to put, seek advice from a lawyer or a consultant or you can watch some of these YouTube videos like mine and others that speaks about immigration issues. We just I will speak for myself. I just tell you the information. So I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a consultant, but I will tell you what I know, but seek advice. The second one is criminal records. Criminal records. So a criminal record can lead to visa cancellation, especially for serious crimes or recent conviction. Individuals already having a visitor visa, if convicted for any serious criminal offense, then visa their visa is cancelled. So after you didn't have any criminal record, so you applied and then you had the visa. But after you had the visa, something happened, and then you were incriminated or you committed a crime. So any serious crime that you committed during that time can lead to your visa cancellation. Can lead to your visa cancellation. This usually happens when you are in a country. When you are in the country, because if you commit the crime in your country, though some of the crimes they will be able to know. That is where at the port of entry they put your name and then they realize that you've committed a crime in your country or something, then they can cancel that visa. That is especially the countries that share information. But countries that does not share information, officers will not be digging to find out did you commit a crime or the, but there are some crime. If it happens, obviously the whole world hears it. That is serious crime. But the thing is, avoid any crime so that you wouldn't be on the criminal list. But if you are in the country already and then you commit any crime too, they can cancel your visa. Reason how to work deal with criminal records. So just avoid crimes. Avoid crime. So if you commit any crime or you indulge in anything that can incriminate you, immediately seek legal advice. Seek legal advice. And then one thing you can also do is even this one before you apply, you can do it. And then if you apply already and then you get into this, they have what they call um, rehabilitation for those who have committed crimes. So criminal rehabilitation, you can seek for that. That will prevent them from canceling your visa. Visa. And then another one too is previous immigration violation. Previous immigration violation. So previously, if you have committed any immigration violation, that can lead to your visa being cancelled. I'm talking of when you have been issued a visa already. It's different from when you are applying. But so maybe in your application, you did application, oversight, the officer gave you the visa, but later on they realized that previously you've committed an immigration violation. They can cancel your visa. Or at the port of entry, they realize that you committed immigration violation previously, they can cancel your visa. And if this happen, then it can also link to the first one I mentioned, misrepresentation and fraud. Maybe you had some immigration violation earlier on, but you did not put it in your application, but they later find it, so they can cancel your visa. How to avoid it? Maintain compliance. So always adhere to visa regulation and respect the terms of your stay. So any country that you visit, being it in Canada or any other country, follow the immigration rules. Don't commit any immigration violation. And then if you have issue in the past, all immigration violation could be rectified. So make sure you rectify it. Maybe you overstayed a visa. Whatever reason that made you overstay the visa, you have to rectify it. Just write to them, explain to them, give them tangible reason, and then that will be rectified. So that wouldn't be on you. That would be on you. And then keep records of your compliance with immigration law, such as proof of departure from Canada or any other country. So you have to keep those records in case there's an oversight and then they say, well, because you did this, you committed an immigration violation, we are canceling your visa, you have records to show. Because this is a human institution, and then errors are bound to occur. You can make an error, they can make an error. So when it is an immigration issue, please always open up, speak out to the immigration consultant to help you, or even you can speak out to IRCC yourself or the border services yourself. And then another way that your visa could be cancelled, this visitor's visa could be cancelled, is purpose of your visit and return ticket. So your visa may be cancelled and you might be denied entry to Canada if your trip is not aligned with the purpose of visit mentioned in your initial application, and you do not have a return ticket in alignment with the number of days you initially requested for visa. So most visitors visa, we give reasons to come to the country. You state that reason. So if the reason that you put in your application and then the reason you are telling the Canada Border um, agency is different, then they can deny you entry and cancel your visa. Or you don't have a return ticket, they can cancel your visa. So make sure that whatever you put in your application, you know what you put in your application. So if you get to the entry and then you have been interviewed, you know what to say. Because if you, in your application you stated, well, you are coming to visit family. That was what you stated in your application. And then you were given the visa. Now you got to the port of entry, they ask you, what is your purpose of coming to the country? You say, I'm coming to like exhibition, I'm coming to a tour, I'm coming to a program. It doesn't align with the one that you put in your application, so they can deny you the visa. They can deny you a visa. Or in your application, you will be asked, like, how long do you intend to stay? So you stated, I intend to stay for 4 months from this date to this date. And even in your proof, you have even proof to them where you stay, your hotel reservation in your application. Now you get to the port of entry and then you don't have a return ticket on the date you said you'll be going back, or you don't have um, the reservations, hotels, accommodation reservation, you don't have it, they could cancel your visa and deny you entry. So to avoid this, be consistent. Whatever you put in your application, make sure you know it and then provide that same reason. And then return ticket. So make sure you have a return ticket. This, if you are capable, you can do it. But if you don't have a return ticket and then you are asked, you could simply let them know that because of pricing, you just bought one way and then you are looking. This is not like a strong excuse, but that is an excuse you can give why you don't have a return ticket. But at least you have money to show that, well, you can buy a ticket back when you are going. But the reason you do not buy a return ticket is because of pricing. It's not that really strong, but it is something that you can still use it in case you. But in the first place, don't go into this to even think of how to do it. And then misleading examples. Misleading examples. So do not let yourself mislead from hearsay. Example of someone telling you someone didn't do this or that, but still their visa is not cancelled or continue to travel to Canada. Yes, this is very important. This is where you watch people like me and others. I try my best to tell you, like, I'll tell you, this is how it is. This is it. But others people would tell you, like all this that I'm saying, some people would say, oh, don't mind him. I know a friend who passed through immigration. Oh, he did that. They didn't ask him anything. Yes, it's true, but it's not everybody, because the immigration officers are human beings and it's not one person standing there all the time. You don't know who you meet at the port of entry, or you don't know who will be working on your documentation, your papers, who will be working on it. You don't know the question they may ask you, the mood of the person. So always make sure you don't let what others say mislead you. Try to do the best thing. Try to do the right thing. Try to do the right thing. You know, a friend of yours might use like the same process, the same documentation, the same, like everything you did, the same application, but one may get a visa, another may be denied. So don't hear from what people see. IRCC, they do everything like they based on several factors, and then it is case by case. They don't compare your issue to another person. You may stand in the queue, or somebody will be in front of you in the queue. The person, you all have visitors visa. They will ask, say, hey, do you have a return ticket? Because you are just standing just behind, so you could hear, no, I don't have a return ticket. Do you have this? No, I don't have it. Okay, have a good stay. You get it, they'll ask, do you have a return ticket? No. Okay, stand here. So like, don't hear, don't listen to what people say. Just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. People just go through just like that. Like all the borders I personally have passed through, none of them have they scrutinized me, like asking me a whole lot of questions. I remember entering Canada for the first time. The only thing they asked me is, uh, give me your passport. You check the passport and then ask you, it was a visit. Are you coming to visit? Yes. Okay, have a nice day. Just went. But some people may be asked so many things. So many things. So inadequate financial support. That is the next one. So don't let what people say. So only solution to scenario is not never trusted. Any hearsay. Don't trust any hearsay. Inadequate financial support. So if you are visiting Canada, you must demonstrate sufficient financial resources to cover your stay in Canada. So if you are not able to demonstrate you have enough money, then your visa could be cancelled. Your visa could be cancelled. So an example is you borrowed some money from family and friends to just show IRCC that you have sufficient funds in your for your visa. But now that you are coming to Canada, you don't have those funds. So the way you were able to prove to IRCC in your application that you have enough fund and then you were given the visa, when you are coming, try to show that you have that enough fund. So you have to get your statement, your bank statement, get them in hand. Yes, print them in hand. Print your bank statement in hand, and then have some cash too on you. There's a limit. I think Canada is $10,000, so that is not something you have to even worry about. That amount that you cannot bring to the country, but just get some few cash in hand, and then have your bank statement. So for bank statement, that is a statement. They will not tell you, okay, go withdraw the money and then let's see that you really have the money. Just show them the paper. Yes, if you get a difficult officer, he may ask you to like go online and then show that. Yeah, it's not everybody that have online banking, so you can just tell them, I don't have online banking, so I can't show you anything online. What I have is what I'm showing you, the paper I'm showing you. You can tell them you don't have any online banking. They can't force you to have an online banking. It's not everybody that have online banking. So make sure you have all these things solved before you move on. So failure to prove intent of leave. So if you are coming, it's a visitor. You are visiting, so you have to leave at most after 6 months. But if you fail to prove that you leave, then your visa could be cancelled. So whichever you have to prove to them. So show some strong ties. Maybe you are going back. You go back to school. You're a student, so you go back to you are working. You go back, or some travel history. Some of the things. Yeah. So if you are travel, have some documents with you to show them. To show them to show them. Don't rely on like showing them things. Okay, where I can put things online and show them. Some of the things online may not help you in your situation. I always advise like print paper document. If there is the need for you to show them something online, you know that. So like your travel history, have it with you, with you. Then security concern. If a visitor is deemed as security risk, then their visa can be cancelled. So there are so many reasons that they can declare you as like you are risk to the security of the country. You are risk to the security of the country. So if you have clear record, that is okay, and then yeah. And then the last thing I would say is changes in circumstances. So if there is any change in your circumstances, you have to let the officers know before you travel, or you have to let them know. If not, that your visa can be cancelled. So significant changes in a visitor circumstance, such as loss of employment or change in family status, can result in visa cancellation. Yes. So if you marry, if you change employment, those are significant changes. It can result in your visa cancellation. So inform authority, report any significant changes in your circumstances to immigration authorities promptly. So and then provide documentation. Yeah, some people may say this one like, yeah, you've lost your employment, meaning you don't have any job in your country. You are coming to visit Canada, so your visa could be cancelled. But how will they know you lost your job? How will they know you lost your job? They wouldn't know unless you tell them. So some of these things you have to use your own brain. You have to think fast. You have to think beyond the box, because for them they will ask you random question. They ask you at a um what do you do? Because some people get a visa and then they think that it's over and they are over happy. So like too overwhelmed, and then they ask you, you lost your job. You had a job before you got a visa. You lost your job. And then maybe a month before coming to the country, they ask you, how do you do it? So I just lost my job a month ago. They can cancel your visa. That tells them you are coming here and you never go back. They can cancel your visa. So if you don't tell them, most of the things, if you don't tell them, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. And then they get to know from your application. The important thing here is whatever you put in your application, make sure you know it. Make sure you know it. Whatever you put in your application. Whatever you put in application. I talk of bringing along your statement. Yes, you see, application could take, let's say, the earliest one, let's say 6 months. The earliest one, let's say 6 months. So, meaning the statement you used for the application is 6 months old. Don't bring that same 6 months old statement. If you are traveling, the day you travel at least a week before or 3 days before, like to show current statement to show. If you bring that old statement, it could still be denied. So these are some of the reasons that your visa could be denied. You've heard some stories. You may think it's not true, but it's very, very true. A lot of people every day, people from your country, people from your country get to Canada and get sent back home. Their visa is cancelled, and even those who have entered the country too, visa could be cancelled, especially if you commit any crime. Commit any crime, you're a visitor, then you commit a crime. We are not talking of major crime, any crime. Your your visa will be cancelled and you'll be sent back home. So this is the end of today's video. I hope this helped. If you have any question or anything, don't hesitate to put it in the comment. I'll try my best to respond to it as best as I could. As best as I could. So thank you. See you next time. There are many videos on my page that you could watch. If you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe to my page. And then yeah, there are so many videos will help you that will help you. So thank you. See you next time. Bye.